If you have been around this game long enough, you know there are two types of rumors: the ones that disappear after 2 weeks, and the ones that refuse to die no matter how many patches pass. The YangYang Awakened 5-star rumor is definitely in the second category. This thing has been floating around for months, and now some more info. Yo, welcome back to the channel. Kamusta po sa inyong lahat? AI, your turn.
Thanks, V. Now, recently, the rumor machine has started spinning again, and this time it actually sounds more structured. The newest wave of information suggests YangYang might return as a Havoc resonator built for main DPS duty, and not just any main DPS. We are talking about a unit that could specialize in applying or exploiting Havoc Bane at a very high level. And if that turns out to be true, that is not just a character release. That is a meta shift waiting to happen. But before we go chaotic over this news,
if you want a smarter way to stretch your Lunites and Asterites without feeling like your wallet just lost a boss fight, check out my U7 buy link in the description and pinned comments and use my code VeeDizzy. They're the only top-up site that can deliver your purchase directly using only your UID and server through what they call Trusted Top-Up. No passwords required. No manual do-it-yourself top-ups, just a smooth, worry-free process delivered straight to your account. They handle the top-up securely while you stay in control of your account. U7 Buy has been operating since 2003, and they've expanded into the gacha space with some of the most competitive top-up pricing available for Wuthering Waves, offering savings of up to 26% compared to in-game prices. They currently hold a 4.7 rating on Trustpilot, and most top-ups are completed in under 5 minutes, which means less waiting and more time actually playing. If you want cheaper top-ups while keeping your account safe, use my link in the description and pinned comments, or use my code VeeDizzy on U7 Buy. It's a practical way to save on top-ups while supporting the channel. Spend responsibly, or don't, that part is on you. Now, back to the topic.
let us slow down for a second and look at why this matters. Havoc as an element has always had strong burst identity, but the negative status side of the design space has felt like it was waiting for someone to really push it into the spotlight. If Awakened YangYang really leans into Havoc Bane amplification or stacking mechanics, she could basically become the poster child for Havoc negative status teams. And here is where things start getting even more interesting, because YangYang might not be coming alone. There's now chatter about another 5-star unit potentially arriving alongside her in version 3.5, someone rumored to be connected to her lore-wise, currently being referred to as Suisui. If the information holds up, Suisui could be a Glacio resonator designed around something called Glacio Chafe, which sounds like the kind of mechanic that would make theory crafters cancel their weekend plans. The really wild part is the thematic overlap. Both units appear to be leaning into negative status design philosophy. YangYang potentially handling Havoc Bane, Suisui potentially enabling or amplifying Glacio Chafe. When you see two units in the same patch pushing similar mechanical directions, that is usually not an accident. That is usually a developer saying, hey, maybe you should try building a team around this. Now, let's add another layer to this. There have also been whispers about Hiyuki possibly operating as a Glacio Chafe-focused DPS. If that is true, suddenly you're not just looking at one new mechanic, you're looking at a potential ecosystem. Think about what that means for team building. If you can run a core that enables Glacio negative status consistently, then slot in a DPS that directly benefits from that status, you are suddenly playing a very different game compared to traditional raw damage stacking comps. And historically, whenever negative status teams become viable, they scale insanely well with investment and optimization. And this is where we bring in the quiet MVP of many of these conversations, Chisa. Chisa has quietly built a reputation as one of the most flexible sustain and buffer options when it comes to teams that rely on specific status interactions. She has already proven that she can support arrow erosion-style gameplay and fusion burst setups without feeling forced or niche. She just kinda shows up, does her job, and leaves everyone wondering why their runs suddenly feel smoother. If version 3.5 really pushes negative status synergy as a major design direction, Chisa suddenly stops being just a good option. She starts looking like infrastructure, the kind of unit that makes experimental comps actually function in real content, instead of just looking good in theorycraft spreadsheets. And if that is the case, then the rerun conversation becomes very real. Because historically, when a new meta direction appears, older support units that enable that direction tend to come back right when people suddenly realize they need them. It is almost like the game politely waits for you to regret skipping a banner before offering you a second chance. If Chisa does rerun around version 3.5, it would honestly make a lot of sense from a design and monetization standpoint. New negative status-focused units show up, players start theory crafting, suddenly everyone remembers that one healer buffer who already does half the work required to make these comps stable, and boom, banner value instantly skyrockets. Now let us talk about YangYang from a design perspective. If she really is an awakened 5-star variant, her gameplay will probably feel like an evolution, not just bigger numbers. Think more field time, stacking systems, or burst windows that reward proper status setup. And honestly, that tracks with recent design trends. Newer kits are more synergy-driven instead of pure solo damage. Units that scale with proper team building usually last longer in the meta. From a story and marketing angle, awakened early characters are automatic wins. Nostalgia, lore progression, and existing player attachment all bundled together. It is basically a sequel movie, but with a bigger budget and better CGI.
If version 3.5 really is the patch where awakened YangYang drops alongside a lower-linked Glacio unit and backed by a negative status enabler like Chisa, this could quietly become one of those patches that reshapes team building for months. The bigger impact might be damage identity. Instead of everyone chasing peak raw DPS, we could see more teams built around layered debuffs, status amplification, and conditional burst cycles. That usually makes gameplay feel more interactive and less like a spreadsheet competition. Of course, rumor culture is chaos, so none of this is guaranteed. Kits change, entire concepts get reworked last minute, but when multiple leaks point toward the same design philosophy, even if details shift, the overall direction is often close to reality. If you are someone who enjoys theory crafting or building niche comps that eventually become mainstream 6 months later, version 3.5 might be one of those patches you want to watch very closely. Because if awakened YangYang really does become a Havoc Bane-focused main DPS, and if Suisui really does push Glacio negative status mechanics, and if existing units like Chisa end up being the glue that holds these experimental teams together, we might be looking at the start of a new team-building era, rather than just a new banner cycle. And honestly, that is the kind of chaos I think a lot of us secretly enjoy. Because nothing is more fun than watching a meta shift happen in real time while pretending you totally predicted it months ago. So for now, keep expectations grounded, keep your resources flexible, and maybe keep an eye on how the developers have been designing recent kits. Because if this rumor ends up being even half true, YangYang might not just be coming back, she might be coming back to start problems for every Havoc-resistant enemy in the game. As always, if this video resonated with you, please leave a like and subscribe. Ring that bell for massive gacha luck and maybe a sandwich. Thank you so much for watching. Maraming salamat po, and I will see you in my next video drop. Goodbye!